So where did you have your first UFO sighting?
Well, I'm actually an Air Force veteran and Space Force veteran. So I've had some experience being around the military, being around high tech aircraft, the kind of stuff that was developed at Area 51. I've seen it close up. I've been around every major rocket launch from the Atlas V to the Delta IV, the Minotaur rockets. I've even seen the space shuttle launch. I've seen satellites. I've seen satellites both in development, going through learning what the rigors of space are, all the way to even from Earth viewing the ISS, the International Space Station, and what that looks like. So I've got a good trained eye on what our stuff looks like, and so if something's outside of that, I'm pretty keen to notice because I'm a huge sky watcher. I have been since I was a little kid, and it's not common to see something that would be unidentified. But if it is unidentified, that shouldn't be a stigma because it's just unidentified until you know what it is. But I have had two sightings in my experience. The first one was in Colorado Springs many years ago, which is where the Air Force Academy is, where Peterson Air Force Base is. At the time, Falcon Air Force Station, and also not far from there is Cheyenne, Wyoming, where our NORAD headquarters is. So, so one of the sightings I had there was a red orb, and it was actually on Academy Boulevard. I was traveling home one night, and this was in the late '80s. There were a lot of people that actually pulled their cars off to the side of the road to take a look at it. Now, this was, you know, over 30 years ago. If it happened today, I would just think, oh, that's a drone and just move along. Back then, we didn't have that drone technology, or at least that we know of, right? So that was an interesting sighting. I went right home and told my wife about it, and turned on the news, tried to find something on the local news. Well, back then, it wasn't a very friendly topic for the local news, even if the sighting was reported by anybody else to MUFON or whatever else. But I even called NORAD. I called NORAD a couple of days later, and I spoke to one of the public affairs NCOs there. By the way, these opinions of mine, my viewpoints and opinions are those of my own and not necessarily the U.S. Air Force, the U.S. Space Force. So I just got to put that out there. But the NORAD sergeant was very kind, but he basically gave me the whole talking points that they've had since Project Blue Book. So we don't know we don't know of anything that's out there or whatever, but we don't have any information here, kind of thing. So and then later on, I had another sighting many years later in Borrego Springs in 2016, and I come to find out that's actually a hotspot for UFOs. It's also a great dark sky night watching type place because I was there just to do some sky watching, and I saw a kind of an opening like an oval shaped whitish um, uh, image that in the very very fabric of this night sky space, dark inky black, and it was just like an oval opening and then closing, and I had no idea what I saw at the time, uh, but who knows, was it a portal opening? It was definitely nothing conventional, I can tell you that. So